and we will learn something more important today. That is, we will talk little bit about the grammar. Okay. So in grammar, we will learn about two verbs today. Now these two verbs are called SER and STAR, which are the helping verbs. These are called the helping verbs in any language. For example, in English, you say, he is a boy. So in that case, he is a boy, is, the word is a helping verb. Okay. So there is a lot of use of the word is in English. And similarly, in any language, we have a lot of use of these helping verbs. These verbs are also called be verb, B-E-B. That means to be, to exist. Okay. So, for example, uh, there is a there is a highway near my house. Okay. So the highway exists near my house. For that, I am using the verb is. There is. So in this way, it shows existence. So that is why they are called be verbs, where it is used to show to be. So in Portuguese, we have these be verbs which are called ser and estar. So let me share a new screen. Whatever we are going to see today, whatever we are going to learn in the lesson, you can find all of that in chapter number 13 of your book. So let me share my screen quickly. Okay, so we are talking about two verbs, ser and estar, which are called the be verbs. They show existence. Now, the verb ser means to be, and the verb estar also means to be. So what is the difference? For example, if I say I am Raka, my name is Raka, so I can say I am Raka. So I will say eu sou Raka. But when I'm saying I am well, for example, you asked me tudo bem, or you asked me como está, then I'm saying I am well. So just a second, it's not I, it's eu. So when I'm saying I am well, I will say eu estou bem. Yeah, it's eu. So when I'm saying eu sou Raka, this means I am Raka. Also, when I'm saying eu estou bem, it also means I am good. So in both the cases, I am using the word am in English, but in Portuguese, we have two different words. In the first case, I am using sou, whereas in the second case, I'm using estou. So there is a subtle difference between these two verbs because the meaning is the same, but we use it in different contexts. Ser will be used for permanent situations, and estar is used for temporary situations. Okay. So let us see some more examples. If I say eu sou de Índia or eu sou de Índia. In European, I'll say eu sou de Índia, or in Brazilian, we will say eu sou de Índia. What does it mean? What is the meaning of the sentence?
I am from India.
I am from India.
Right. I am from India. So here I'm using the ser verb because your origin is permanent. It cannot change. Wherever you are born or where you belong to, that is a permanent definition of you. Okay? So we cannot change it. That's why I'm using the ser verb and I'm saying eu sou. Okay. In the next sentence, I'm saying eu estou muito orgulhoso do meu país. I am proud of my country. I am proud of my country. Eu estou orgulhoso. Here, feeling the emotion of pride or being proud, that's an emotion. Okay. That's a feeling, that's a sensation. So a sensation or a feeling or an emotion is considered temporary. That's why I am saying eu estou. So in the first sentence, I'm talking about origin, which cannot change. So I'm using so. Whereas in the second sentence, I am talking about an emotion which can change. Emotions can change. So I'm using estou. Similarly, for example, if I say, ela é professora. What is the meaning of this sentence?
She is professor.
She is a teacher. Okay.
Yeah, she's a
Professora,
teacher.
yes. Professor or professora means teacher. So it is, Bushra, can you please go on mute? So it is not necessarily professor. Professor or professora means teacher. So even if we are talking about a teacher of kindergarten or maybe of primary school, then also she is professora or he is professor. So ella é professora means she is teacher. But if I say ela está feliz com as crianças, she is happy with the kids. So she is a teacher. This is her profession. So even though we can change professions, it cannot be something that we change overnight. So profession is always a long-term thing. That is why we are using the SER word. This is a conjugation or this is a form of the SER word. So here we are using SER to denote profession. But in this one, we are using the star word. Ela está feliz. So here we are using the star word to denote emotion. She is happy. So being happy or sad or nervous, excited, whatever it is, all the emotions are temporary. So these are the different, these can change. So that's why we use the star word. Let's see another example. For example, nós somos estudantes. We are students. Nós somos estudantes. Or in European, we will say estudantes. Estudantes. Nós somos estudantes. Or nós somos estudantes. We are students. So this case, we are talking about our profession. Being a student is also kind of a profession. So we are using the SER word because we'll consider this as permanent. Although you will not remain a student forever, but still it is a long-term thing. So that's why we use the SER word. Or also we can say like it's a part of our character, it's a part of our personality or our identity. That's why we use the SER word. It's one of the permanent features. Okay. Nós somos estudantes. We are students. In the second sentence, let me say, nós estamos na aula. It means we are in the class. We are in the class. Now here we are talking about location. So we are using the star word to denote location. So why am I using the star word? So star is permanent or temporary? Which one is it? Permanent or temporary?
Temporary.
Temporary, right. Okay. So star is the temporary one. So I am using the star word with location because right now we are in the class. In the next moment, we will be somewhere else. Our location can change. Okay? So it is a temporary denomination. So that's why we are using the star word to denote location. Okay. Let's take more examples. For example, Este café é de Portugal. This coffee is from Portugal. This coffee is from Portugal. You don't need to take any notes because I will share the complete document with you. So you can sit down and take the notes in your own time by understanding every sentence. Because we might be doing a lot of new words here. They can be new for you. So I want you to take your time and understand the sentences and then take notes of it. So just pay complete attention to the screen. Este café é de Portugal. Or in Brazilian accent, we will say, Este café é de Portugal. So this coffee is from Portugal. Now that is talking about the origin of the coffee, which will definitely not change. That is why we are using the ser verb. So here we are using ser to denote origin. This a is a form of the ser verb only. Then I'm saying este café está quente. This coffee is hot. This word quente or quente. In European Portuguese, we'll say quente. In Brazilian, we'll say quente. It's not que, it's que. Okay. Quente or quente means hot. So here we are using the star verb because naturally the coffee is hot now, but it can become cold later. So it's a temporary feature of the coffee. That is why we are using the star verb. Star verb to denote state, the state of the coffee. So the basic idea is that we have both the ser and star, which is used in the context of is, am, are in English. So wherever we use is, am, are in English, in those places we use ser or star in Portuguese. But ser and star, these are the original form of the verbs. When we use it with different subjects, with different persons, then the form of the verb changes. Just like if I take the word is. So we don't say I is a teacher. We say I am a teacher. We don't say I are sad. We say I am sad. Or we don't say we don't say we am from India. We say we are from India. So with different persons or different subjects, the form of the verb changes. Just like we saw with the ser verb, with eu, we are using sou. Whereas with ela, that is she, we are using a. With nós, means we are using somos. So the form of the verb changes. The form of the verb changes I'm sorry, everyone. I lost my network. Can you please remind me how much you could hear?
The last one
We
was
will.
is M the formal verbs you were telling.
So, were you able to follow me till this part where I explained what is conjugation?
Yes, still there
Okay.
only.
Okay. Uh, guys, there is a problem of network due to heavy rain and all. So, if I lose the network, please notify in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Okay. Coming back to this, so I was saying that the verb changes its form with different subjects. Okay. So the verb is the same, but the form will change. And this process of changing of the form of the verb according to different persons or different subjects, this is called conjugation. So we will take up one verb at a time now. We were talking about two verbs, right? Ser and star. So let's take up the ser verb and let's understand everything that there is to understand regarding the ser verb. So first we will look at the conjugation, because unless we learn the conjugation, we don't know how to use it in sentences. Okay. So let us first look at the conjugation of the ser verb. Ashish, can you please go on mute? Okay. So how do we do conjugations? Let us form a table like this. So in the first column, we will write about persons, or let's say pessoa in Portuguese. So in the first column, we will learn about the person like I, you, he, she, all this. And in the second column, we will talk about the conjugation of the verb. In Portuguese, we will call it conjugação. Just a second. I'm unable to put the accent here. Give me 1 second. Do you remember this thing like, when you have shun in English, what is the most common translation in Portuguese?
Sure.
São. Yes. Okay. So here also we will say conjugação, right? It's conjugação. Okay. So under the persons, let's first start with eu, right? First person singular. First person that we should take is eu. So the conjugation with the person eu for ser verb is sou. Okay. So it is eu sou. Okay, so every conjugation that we study, we will keep learning the meaning also. So when I say eu sou, that means I am. And I'll add another column to this, and let us do an example right away with every single conjugation. For example, eu sou indiana. I am Indian. Next subject we will take is tu. Okay, tu means you, but informal. जैसे हिंदी में तुम होता है और आप होता है, राइट? तो पोर्चुगीज में तू होता है जो कि इनफॉर्मल है, इट मीन्स तुम. Okay, and then we have the subject of você. Let me write that also here. Você is you but formal. तो इसका मतलब है आप. você का मतलब है आप, whereas तू का मतलब है तुम या तू, हिंदी में जैसे तू कहते हैं. तो इट इज इनफॉर्मल. तो हमारे पास सेकेंड पर्सन में दो वर्ड्स हैं. व्हेन वी आर रेफरिंग टू समवन एल्स, then we have two words to use. One is formal, one is informal. Formal is você, and informal is tu. Now, secondly, the subject of tu will only be used in European Portuguese. So, in only European Portuguese, we will use tu. In Brazilian, we don't have a segregation like this. We don't have different subjects of tu and você. We use only você. So whoever we are referring to, they can be, it can be a formal or informal. He or she can be your elder or younger. Whatever it is, we have only one word, that is você. Just like the concept of English. In English, we have only one word, which is you. So it can be used in formal, informal, family, friends, boss, senior, whoever it is. Similarly, in Brazilian Portuguese, we will only use você. Whereas in European Portuguese, we need to decide whether the situation is formal or informal. In informal situations, like you're talking to your friends, your family, or somebody who is way younger to you, maybe a child. So in these cases, we can use tu. Whereas if we are talking to a stranger, someone we don't know, then we will use você. If we are talking to a colleague or someone senior to you in your workspace, then you will use você. Or if you are talking in any conversation which seems to be formal, then we use the você. So once again, to summarize this, we have two words in European Portuguese, and we have a distinction of formal and informal. Whereas in Brazilian Portuguese, we have only one word, which is você, for both formal and informal. Is this clear to everyone? Can you give me a quick thumbs up if it is clear? Ótimo. Great. Okay. Sejal, you are there in the class? Sejal? Okay, she's not here. Okay, so coming back to this, now the conjugation. With tu, the conjugation is es. Okay. So it means you are. You are, but informal. And I will put this in Hindi as well. Give me 1 second. इसका मतलब है तुम हो, इनफॉर्मल. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, tu és uma criança. You are a child. Okay. Tu és uma criança. Next is você. With você, we use the conjugation a. Okay. So it means you are, but formal. So I'll write this in Hindi as well. It's like आप, okay? आप हैं. I'm unable to get the exact word right now, but it's आप हैं. You are. Você means आप. For example, você é o pai do Rodrigo. Okay. So it means, are you the father of Rodrigo? Você é o pai do Rodrigo. Você é means you are the father. O pai. O is used as an article. Você é o pai do Rodrigo. Are you the father of Rodrigo? Okay. After this, we will talk about the third person. So till now, we were talking about the first person, that is eu. Then the second person, that is tu and você. Then let's talk about the third person. We have ele or ela, means he or she. So the word ele means he, whereas ela means she. Now in Brazilian Portuguese, we have extension at the end of the word, right? So we'll say ele. In Brazilian, we'll say ele. But the same word in European, we'll say L. L. That's it. Especially when we have an E at the end of any word, we tend to extend it in Brazilian Portuguese, whereas it is not extended at all. It is not pronounced at all in European Portuguese. Once again, when we have the letter E at the end of any word, then in Brazilian Portuguese, we tend to extend it, whereas in European Portuguese, we ignore it altogether. So in Brazilian, the word is ele, whereas in European, it is el. Now, these are the words for he or she. Now we are coming to third person. Okay. So he, we say ele or el, and for she, we say ela. Ela remains the same both in Brazilian and European. For this also, we use the same conjugation, that is a. A. This is pronounced as a. For example, okay, it means he is or she is. For example, ela é muito bonita. She is very beautiful. Muito means very. We have seen this before as well in muito prazer. So ela é muito bonita. Bonita means beautiful. She is very beautiful. So we are describing the characteristic of a person. This cannot go away overnight. Okay. So it's a permanent feature of the person. That's why we are using the ser verb. Ela é muito bonita. Next up, we have again first person, but in plural. First person, but in plural. So nós. This we call as nós. Nós means we. Hum sab. So with nós, the conjugation is somos. So it means we are. For example, nós somos os estudantes de português. Okay. We are the students of Portuguese. Nós somos estudantes de português. So that was first person plural. That is nós. Okay. What happened? Just a second. Okay. After this, we will have second person plural. That is the plural of this. Você becomes vocês. Okay. Earlier, we used to make a separate plural for tu also. That was vós. But in modern day Portuguese, we do not use the conjugation of vós. So even if I want to make for informal, I have to make plural. Then also I will use the word vocês. Okay. You all. Vocês means you all. Or you can say you, but multiple people. We don't have a separate word for this in English. अगर मैं आप सबसे एक साथ बात करूं तो भी मैं आपसे पूछूंगी हाउ आर यू. But in Portuguese, I will say como vocês estão. When I'm talking to all of you together, then I'll refer to you all as vocês. That means I'm referring to multiple people. But in English, we use the same word, you. So the most we can do is say that this is you all. That means we are talking to multiple people. The conjugation for this is são. Vocês são means you all are. For example, vocês são inteligentes. Vocês são inteligentes. Can you tell me the meaning of this?
You all are intelligent.
Yes, you all are intelligent. So notice something here. When we are saying intelligentish or intelligentish, it means intelligent. It's an adjective. It is describing how you are. Okay, so it is describing the noun. So it's an adjective. In English, we are saying you all are intelligent. So even if I'm referring to multiple people, the adjective is singular. I'm not saying intelligence. Okay. But in Portuguese, the adjective also becomes plural. If the noun or the pronoun is plural, for example, here I'm saying vocês, that means I'm referring to multiple people at once. So if I'm talking about multiple people and I'm using an adjective for multiple people, then the adjective also becomes plural. So in Portuguese, the adjectives also change with the noun. If the noun is singular, adjective is singular. If noun becomes plural, then adjective also becomes plural. Hence, vocês são inteligentes. If I say you are intelligent only to one person, then I will say você é inteligente or você é inteligente. But if I say to multiple people, then I'll have to say inteligentes or intelligentes. Is this clear to everyone? The adjective part? Give me a thumbs up, please. Okay. Obrigada. So we are left with our last subject, that is eles or elas, which basically means they. Now we have two words, eles and elas. In English, we have only one word, which is they. Ve sab. Okay? But in Portuguese, we have two words, eles and elas. Just a second. So eles and elas, there are two words. One is masculine plural and one is feminine plural. You can see here Eli means he, whereas Ella means she. So one is masculine and one is feminine. Whereas in this one is masculine plural, one is feminine plural. So when do we know which one to use? If we have a group of people where everyone is male, if we have a group of men, then we will definitely use the which one? Which
Eles.
one of these words? Yes, Elish. Okay. And similarly, if we have a group of women, then we will use quick response, please. Which one will
Elas.
you use? Elish. Right. So this is very clear. If we have a group of men, then we use the masculine plural, that is Elish. And if we have a group of women, then we use the feminine plural, which is Elish. But the problem arises, what if we have a mixed group, like the class right now? We have a mixed group of people. There are men, there are women. So in this case, we will refer to this class, like this group of people, as eles. We will use the masculine plural. So let me mention this here. We use the masculine plural to refer to a mixed group of people. That means we are very sure that if all the members are male, then I will use elish. If all the members are female, then I'll use elash. But if we have a mixed group, then we always use the masculine plural. Is this clear to everyone? Tudo bem. Obrigada, gente. Ok, então vamos proceder. Let's proceed. With eles, elas, the conjugation remains same, that is são, which means they are. For example, eles são brasileiros. Can you tell me the meaning of this?
They are Brazilian.
Yes, they are Brazilian. So we are talking about nationality. That's why we are using the ser verb. Okay. They are Brazilian. So that brings us to the end of this conjugation. Let's look at this conjugation right from the beginning once. So with the first person singular, this is our subject of first person singular. Who is first person? The person who is speaking. In a conversation, the person who is speaking is the first person. The person who is listening, यानी जिनसे बात करी जा रही है, that person is second person. And the person who we are talking about, the person who is not even present in the conversation, but maybe or may not, we are talking about him. So basically, the person who is not present in the conversation, that is the third person. So once again, जो बात कर रहा है वो फर्स्ट पर्सन है, जिनसे बात करी जा रही है वो सेकंड पर्सन है, और जिनके बारे में बात करी जा रही है जो कि कन्वर्सेशन में है ही नहीं, वो थर्ड पर्सन है. तो यहाँ पे भी हम फर्स्ट, सेकंड और थर्ड पर्सन देखेंगे. पहला सब्जेक्ट जो हमने लिया है वो है फर्स्ट पर्सन सिंगुलर. द फर्स्ट सब्जेक्ट इज फर्स्ट पर्सन सिंगुलर, दैट इज आई or eu. Eu means I. So with eu, the conjugation of ser verb is sou. So we can say eu sou indiana. I am Indian. Eu sou indiana. Next we have tu, which is second person. Tu का मतलब होता है तुम. Tu is you but informal. तो tu का मतलब होता है तुम. Tu के साथ conjugation होता है es. Tu es. So this is informal. It means tum ho. Tu és uma criança. You are a child. Okay? Tu és uma criança. Then we saw você, which is again you but formal. Okay? So with você the conjugation is again a. This is an e with accent. It's called a. Okay? Now você means आप. तो इसका मतलब you ही है पर ये formal है, आप. और तू और वुस्से के बारे में हमने ये भी सीखा था that in European Portuguese we use two different words, that is tu and você. Tu for informal, você for formal. But in Brazilian Portuguese there is only one word which we use, that is você. So in Brazilian neither do we use the subject of tu nor do we have this conjugation in Brazilian. There will be nothing called tu or es in Brazilian Portuguese. In Brazilian, we'll only have você é. So você é means आप हैं. So você é o pai do Rodrigo? Are you the father of Rodrigo? So we are talking about a relationship which cannot change. It's a permanent relationship. Father. So we are using the ser verb here. Then we have ele and ela. So ele means he and ela means she. With this also we use the conjugation of a. Same conjugation as você. So ele, ela, a. It means he is or she is. So the example we saw is ela é muito bonita. She is very beautiful. Then we saw nós. Nós somos. Somos. So see, we have two s in this word. First we are saying as so. So. But the last s is soft. We are saying this as sh. Somos. Nós somos. So it means we are. Nós somos os estudantes de português. Or nós somos os estudantes de Português. We are the students of Portuguese. Then we have vocês, that is you all, aap sab. Vocês são. Vocês são. You all are. For example, you all are intelligent. Vocês são inteligentes. Here we are talking about a permanent characteristic trait of a person. So we are using the ser verb. Vocês são inteligentes. Or we can say, vocês são inteligentes. Then lastly, we have eles and elas. Eles, elas, são. Same conjugation. Eles, elas, são. Means they are. For example, eles são brasileiros. They are Brazilian. Now, regarding the word eles, elas, for the same word which is they in English, they means वे सब. English में एक ही word है they, but in Portuguese we have two different words. One is masculine, one is feminine. Eles is masculine and elas is feminine. So how do we decide which one to use? We will use eles first when the complete group, every member of the group is male. And we'll use elas when all the members of the group are female. But only when we have a mixed group, then we can use only the masculine plural. That is, if we have a mixed group, we cannot ever use elas. अगर majority भी female है, if in a group of people, 9 people are male, nine people are women, and 1 person is man, then also we will use elas. If there is even one male factor in the group, then the whole group becomes eles. So in case of mixed group we'll say eles. In case of only female group, then only we'll say elas, and the conjugation remains song. So now see, this conjugation we have to learn it, we have to memorize it, so that we are able to use the correct conjugation when we form the sentences. Okay. So how will you remember this? The way of saying this conjugation is like this. Follow me very attentively. It will be like this. Eu sou, tu és, você, ele, ela, é. Since the conjugation for all these three words is the same, so we will learn them together. We will say você, ele, ela, é. Nós somos. Vocês, eles, elas são. So once again, eu sou, tu és, você, ele, ela é, nós somos, vocês, eles, elas são. This is how you have to memorize it, and I will want to hear this from you in the next class. By the next class, you will have it memorized. Okay. It is very, very important. These are very commonly used verbs in Portuguese, and we have to use it in every other sentence. So you should remember the correct format, which form of the verb you will use with which subject. So same thing we will do with the star verb as well. Okay, let's do the same thing with the star. So all of this will remain same. Only the conjugation and the examples will change. Okay, so the subjects will remain same, the meanings remain the same, because in English we don't have a separate word for temporary and permanent, but the examples and this, the conjugation will change. So let's look at the verb star. So let's say o verbo estar. Okay. Same thing we will do here. First, we will look at the conjugation of the star. So with eu, it becomes, can you remind me what is the conjugation of eu for star verb? How do you say I am well?
Estou.
Yes, perfect. Eu estou. Okay.
Estou.
Yes. For example, most common example, eu estou bem. I am well. Or I'm fine. Eu estou bem. Similarly, with tu, it is estás. Okay. Estás. For example, tu estás triste means are you sad? Tu estás triste. Are you sad? Okay. क्या तुम दुखी हो? It's informal. Okay. The word triste or trist means sad. Okay. Triste or trist. Then we with você we have está. For example, onde onde você está? The word onde, as we have seen yesterday, what is the meaning of the word onde or on?
Where?
Where? So what will be the meaning of the sentence?
Where you are?
Where are right? Where are you? Okay. So we are talking about location which can change. That is why we are using the star verb. Where are you? Then we have Eli, Ella, same conjugation, sta. For example, let's say o meu pai está no mercado. My father is in the market. Okay. So in this case, it is not necessary that we use the word Eli or Ella. Whatever third person comes up, o meu pai, my father, he's a third person. Okay. He's another person that we are talking about. He's not present in the conversation. Okay. So that's why he's a third person. For him also, we will use the está. Okay. Let's see some more examples with this. We can use Eli, Ella also. For example, Ela está na casa do amigo. She is at the friend's house. Ela está, she is at the house of the friend. Casa means house, do of the amigo, friend. Okay. So she is at the friend's house. We can say house of the friend. More examples. A água está bem frio. It is very cold or it is quite cold. काफी ठंडा, bem frio. Although the word bem means good, okay, but when we use it with adjectives like this, bem frio, it means it's very cold or it is cold enough. Okay, bem frio. So this means the water is pretty cold. So it's in this way, with words, with different words also, we can use it as Eli, Ella itself. It is not necessary that we use the particular word Eli or Ella. Whatever third person we are using, for that we can use the conjugation of Eli, Ella. Then we have nós. With nós, the conjugation is estamos. Okay. Estamos. Nós estamos. Por exemplo, nós estamos na estação. We are at the station. Yes, Bushra, you have a question?
Yes, this where you say कि ela está na casa do amigo. It's amigo or amiga?
Depends. Amigo means a male friend and amiga means a female friend.
Hmm.
Okay, so both are correct. It's just male and female.
Okay.
Okay, so coming back to nós. Nós, the conjugation is estamos. Estamos. Okay. So example we saw is nós estamos na estação. We are at the station. So we are talking about the location and it can change. So it is temporary. We are using the estar verb. Okay, we are at the station. Then we have vocês. Okay, with vocês we use the conjugation estão, nasal sound. Estão. Okay. For example, vocês estão no Delhi? Are you all in Delhi? So we are talking about the location. क्या आप सब दिल्ली में हो? vocês estão no Delhi? Then we have eles, elas. The conjugation remains same here. Estão. So you can say eles estão or elas estão. For example, let's say as crianças, the kids, the children, as crianças estão animados. That means the children are excited. The word animado is an adjective. It means excited. So the children are excited. As crianças estão animados. Next, let's say as mulheres estão na loja. The women are at the shop. Next, let's say, just a second. Os pães. That means the breads. Okay. The breads. So bread means pão. The single bread, the word is pão. In plural, it becomes pães. For example, os pães, the breads are stale. Okay, सड़ गया है. The breads are stale. So os pães estão velhos. Os pães estão velhos. The breads are rotten or they're stale. So we are talking about the state of the breads. So here also we are using the conjugation of eles, elas. So whatever object we pick up in plural, we will use the conjugation of eles, elas. More examples. Eles estão esperando por você. It means they are waiting for you. Eles estão esperando por você. They are waiting for you. So in this case, you can see we are using the continuous tense, waiting, ing form. So in the continuous tense also, we use the estar verb because continuous tense always gives a sense of temporary. The action is continued right now, but it'll stop at some point. Wherever we use the continuous tense, we always use the star verb. So for example, if I say I am speaking, it's an ing form. There we will say eu estou. We'll never say eu sou. It is for I am speaking. We'll always say eu estou falando. So we will come to the continuous tense later on. We will look at it later on, not today. But as of now, you should just know that whenever we use the continuous tense, we use the star verb. So let us revise the whole thing. We are talking about the star verb, which is again is am are, but in the sense of temporary features. We use this verb only in case of temporary features. Okay. O verbo estar, this is temporary. So the persons and the translation definitely remains the same. With eu, it is estou. That means I am. So we saw the example, eu estou bem, I am well. With tu, it is estás. That is you are, but informal. That is tu estás triste, are you sad? Or tu estás triste in European, are you sad? We are talking to someone informally. क्या तुम दुखी हो? आप नहीं, तुम. ठीक है, informal. Then we have você. Você está. For example, onde você está or onde você está. That is, where are you? Whenever we are talking about location, even if it's a question, then also we will use the star verb, because location of things that can move. For example, people can move from one place to another, vehicles can move. So for the location of these things, we use the star verb. Then we have ele, ela, which is third person, he or she. Ela also is está. The conjugation is está. So, o meu pai está no mercado. So, my father here is a third person. We're saying my father is in the market. So, we are using the star verb because we are talking about location. Next moment, the father can be somewhere else. So, the location can change. That's why we are using the star verb. Then we have ela está na casa do amigo. She is at the friend's house. A água está bem frio. The water is pretty cold. It's quite cold. Okay. काफी ठंडा है. That is why bem frio. Frio means cold. Then we have nós. With nós it's estamos. Nós estamos. For example, nós estamos na estação. We are at the station. Then we have vocês. With vocês and eles, elas, the conjugation is estão. Example with vocês. Vocês estão no Delhi. Are you all in Delhi? So we are not saying, are you from Delhi? We are not talking about origin here. We are talking about location. क्या आप सब दिल्ली में हैं? Okay. So we are talking about the current location of the person. Vocês estão no Delhi? Are you all in Delhi? That is why we are using the star verb. Then we have eles, elas. So whatever third person we have, if we have it in plural, then we can use the conjugation of eles, elas. That is estão. So as crianças estão animados. The children are excited. Animados means excited. As mulheres estão na loja. The women are at the shop. Then os pães estão velhos. The breads are stale. Okay, they're rotten. Then we have eles estão esperando por você. They are waiting for you. So in this case, we saw that we use the star verb for continuous tense as well. Now, we understood that the ser verb will be used for permanent situations, whereas the star verb will be used for temporary situations. But just to give you an idea, let's have some real situations where we use the ser verb, and on the contrast, where do we use the star verb. So I'll draw a table for you and let us understand where all we use ser and where do we use star. So first of all, ser is always used in any case of identity. It can be name, it can be the profession of the person, it can be the belonging of the person, the origin. So any factor of the identity, is always ser verb because it's always permanent. Okay. So if I say o meu nome é Ana, my name is Anna. So here is, we are using the ser verb because it's a permanent part of our identity. That's why we are using ser verb. Then it comes under identity only, but let us stress it again. Profession, any kind of profession. For example, eles são doutores. Okay. They are doctors. Eles são doutores. So whenever we talk about profession, we use the ser verb. Then again a part of identity only, but let's say origin or belonging. And similarly, nationality. All of them almost come in the same category. Origin, belonging, or nationality. So origin or belonging, you can say, for example, eu sou de Delhi. I am from Delhi. This is where I was born. Okay? So I am from Delhi. Eu sou de Delhi. Or eu sou de Delhi. Whereas in nationality, for example, you say, o meu amigo é brasileiro. My friend is Brazilian. O meu amigo. Meu means my. Amigo means friend. My friend is Brazilian. So we are talking about nationality. We are using the ser verb. Whenever we talk about time, we use the ser verb. For example, right now it is 21:07 hours. That is 9:07 p.m. So we'll say são 21:07. We have not read the numbers yet. We'll do that later. So let's say in English, são 21:07 horas. So it's 21:07 hours. For time, we always use the ser verb. Now, time is something that keeps changing, but still we are using the ser verb. Because right now, it is 21:07. And right now, the time cannot change. So it shows a concept that whatever the time is right now, that is a fact. That will not change in the next moment. I mean, it will change in the next moment, not in this moment. So that's why we always use the ser verb with time. Even if you forget the logic of it, if you forget the reason behind it, always remember that we will always use the ser verb with time. Whenever we need to denote the time, always use the ser verb. Apart from this, we use the ser verb to denote some kind of universal truth. Okay. Things that we all agree upon, universal truth. For example, there's a saying called honesty is the best policy, right? Honesty is the best policy. Although it will be little, might be difficult for you to understand, but let us take it because it's a very common phrase. A honestidade or honestidade. A honestidade é a melhor política. Honesty is the best policy. So here we are using the ser verb for is. We could have used the star verb also. We could have said a honestidade está a melhor política, but we are using the ser verb because it is unanimously agreed upon that it is true. It is a fact. It doesn't change. That's why we are using the ser verb. So these are mostly the situations where we use ser. Apart from this, you will get a detailed table in your chapter number 13 of the book. Okay. If you come to chapter number 13 of the book, there is a table up front where you can see the difference between ser and star, and in what all situations do we use the ser verb, what all situations we use the star verb. Let's move on to the star verb. Okay. First of all, star will be used for location of objects that can move. That means locations that can change, right? For that, we will always use the star verb. For example, o autocarro está na parada. That means the bus is at the bus stop. Okay. Parada means stop. Okay. As a noun. Bus stop, train stop. That is parada. Autocarro. Autocarro means bus. In Brazilian Portuguese, we have a separate word for bus. In European Portuguese, we used autocarro, whereas in Brazilian Portuguese, we use the word ônibus. So there's a basic difference in the vocabulary. Most of the time, the words don't change in European or Brazilian. The words remain the same. But there are some situations where it is a culture of different words. Okay. It's not like people will not understand autocarro in Brazil. They will understand, but they mostly use the word ônibus, whereas the Europeans use the word autocarro for bus. So the bus is at the bus stop. The bus can move at any point of time. It can be at a different location. That is why the location of the bus is temporary. That's why you are using the star verb. Then feelings or emotions. These are again temporary. So we will use the star verb. For example, a menina, the girl. A menina, the girl, está nervosa. The girl is nervous. Nervosa. The girl is nervous. A menina está nervosa. So being nervous is a sensation. It's a feeling. So it's temporary. Okay, it will not be permanent. So that's why we are using the star verb. Secondly, physical state of something. It can be physical state of a person or physical state of an object. For example, eu estou cansada means I am tired. So being tired is a physical state of the body, right? It's not a characteristic. It's a state. Right now I'm tired. If I rest a bit, maybe I'll feel more energized. So the state will keep changing. So the physical state of a person will always use the star verb. Similarly, physical state of object also. A comida está fresca. The food is fresh. The food is fresh. It can go stale in some time, but right now it is fresh. So the state can change, but right now it is fresh. Okay. So for these kind of situations, we will use the star verb. And we also use the star verb for continuous tense. Okay. Continuous tense. This we will read in detail in the upcoming classes, not right now. So any kind of continuous tense, we use the star verb. So similarly, in this case, like we have physical state under the star verb, whereas under the SER verb, we will see physical traits. Okay. Physical traits or even emotional traits. So these are the characteristics of a person, or we can say permanent characteristics. For example, we read an example like ela é inteligente. She is intelligent. This is an emotional trait of the person. For example, if I say o menino, the boy, o menino é alto. Okay. The boy is tall. So this is a physical trait of the person. It cannot change. It's permanent. So in these cases, we use the SER verb. So it is not an exhaustive list. मतलब इससे ज्यादा और भी रीजंस हो सकते हैं, और भी फैक्टर्स या और भी सिचुएशंस हो सकते हैं जहाँ पे हम सेर या स्टार को यूज करते हैं, बट दिस इज जस्ट टू इनिशिएट यू इनटू द प्रोसेस. दिस इज जस्ट टू गिव यू एन आइडिया कि किस किस सिचुएशन में हम सेर या स्टार को यूज करेंगे. So SER is permanent, star is temporary, and you have the examples in what kind of situations do we use this. So the whole class today we read about the SER and star verb, which are used as be-verbs, that is to show existence. And yes, Ashish, the SER and star we have already written. SER means to be, and star also means to be. Okay? These are the name of the verbs. We have written it in the beginning itself.
I mean, ma'am, the top four, ma'am, please write English translation. It Omiu, Nome, Na.
For the examples, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
yes,
for example.
yes, yes. I'll write that. So, o meu nome é Ana. That is, my name is Ana. Then we have eles são doutores. Like they are doctors. Eu sou de Delhi. I am from Delhi. Then o meu amigo é brasileiro. Means my friend is Brazilian. São 7 horas. That is, it is 21:07 hours. That is 9:07 p.m. So like this, we use the ser verb in permanent situations. So anybody has any questions from today's class? As of now.
Ma'am, we'll
So
get the screenshots of these tables
yes,
in
yes,
other time.
I'll send you the whole document. Okay.
Okay,
So you can
thank you.
go through it very carefully and then note it down. So I'll tell you what to do in your homework. Firstly, you will just go through this whole document just like a lesson, like a chapter. You will try to understand everything that we discussed and which is written also. So every example or every definition, every conjugation, you should be able to understand everything. So first, invest some time to just go through it and understand every word of it. In the first part, if you have any doubts, immediately put a message in the group or take a note of it that you can discuss with me in the next class. Second homework will be to learn the conjugations. You have to literally memorize them. Just like I told you, eu sou, tu és, você, ele, ela é, nós somos, and vocês, eles, elas são. Similarly, with the conjugation of the star as well. So your second job is to learn and memorize the conjugations, which I will hear from every one of you in the next class. And thirdly, I want you to at least try to make some examples. Just like we made sentences as examples in the class, I want you to attempt, just try to make some examples.